Today is November 14th, 2018. Last night I had a myofascial release session. The night before, I had woken up with a really sharp pain in my pelvic floor, into the hip area. And it woke me up about 5 times. And then yesterday, throughout the day, I was having moments of spasms in that area. So I had my myofascial release treatment last night. And what actually surfaced was when I was pregnant with Morgan and I wasn't dilating to the point where it was time to give birth, but yet I was, dilated past a certain amount of centimeters, so I was in the hospital and the contractions were really, close to each other. The hospital staff was giving me IV drugs to help with the pain. And what surfaced was that process, that time frame. So I had been given some form of IV drugs. I don't know what they were. And after a while, I started to feel really sick. I felt like I couldn't breathe. When I would move my hand, it would be in slow motion, and I could see like trails of movement as my hand went by. And I realized that at that point, that I was given too much. And then a nurse came in to want to give me more. And I remember saying to her, no, I already have too much. And, saying what I was feeling. And then she gave me water, and I was sitting there trying to drink without, choking, and ended up throwing up. And it was a whole thing. And last night I re-experienced that whole process again. All the taste of the drug, the drug in my mouth, the feeling of being high, which reminded me that for once in my life I was high, which I forgot about, because prior to that and since then I've never been high. And the whole everything, the feelings, the nausea to my stomach, the I can't breathe, the tightness in my throat, just all of that. And I reprocessed all that fear and sadness and worrying about Morgan, being alone, feeling like no matter what at this moment, it's Morgan and I, and it will always be Morgan and I. Just every aspect that occurred that I have forgotten about. But also within that, I thought to myself, was that the first time Morgan was high? And then if so, then it was my fault. And the thing is that it's, the reason I think that is because they feed off of what we're putting into our system, because it's how they grow. And so, he definitely, in my thought process on how the body works, would have received, some of that drug as well. So it's just something that popped in my head, obviously, guilt and all that stuff, we can sit in it. And at times I do, don't get me wrong, I do. But I found it very interesting that that had surfaced, especially since I was having pelvic floor pain, which today I don't have it anymore. So wanted to share that story about myofascial release and a treatment that actually, came up last night.